Hello everyone. I hope everyone is fine. So in our last class we have discussed about the sensitivity of the galvanometer and its accuracy. We discussed which factor we need to change and in what manner if we are willing to increase the sensitivity of the galvanometer, or if we are interested in increasing the accuracy of the galvanometer, right? So come across the view that if we want to increase the accuracy of the galvanometer, we must increase the value of deflection which is getting produced in the galvanometer, which depends actually on the sensitivity of the galvanometer. So the galvanometer sensitivity of the galvanometer can be increased by increasing the number of turns on the coil of the galvanometer, the strength of the permanent magnets, or we can use the strong permanent magnets, and then the area of the loop. And also we can also increase the sensitivity of the galvanometer by reducing the value of constant force constant for the metallic strip from which it is suspended. Because we are using the strip of metallic phosphor bronze material, so for which the value of K, the force constant, is very less. To reduce the value of force constant, we just make this wire of phosphor bronze suspension wire in terms of the strip by hammering it, so which further reduces the force constant of the suspension wire. Now this is not wire in the form of the cylinder, but in the form of strip. So for a shape just like the strip, the force constant is even smaller. So this increases the sensitivity and hence the accuracy of the galvanometer. Okay. Now we can talk about some uses of the galvanometer. So we can use the galvanometer according to its basic use to detect the presence of current in the circuit, or we can also use the galvanometer as an ammeter and as a voltmeter. Ammeter measures the current and voltmeter measures the potential difference across the ends of any conductor. Okay. So we can convert this galvanometer into the ammeter and voltmeter, of course, by making some arrangements, changes in the galvanometer. These changes which are required to be made in the galvanometer in order to use it in as a ammeter or a voltmeter, these changes are required. These are not necessarily to be required inside, to be carried out inside the galvanometer, but these changes can be done just from the outside of the galvanometer. So first we will take the case of whenever we are willing to convert a galvanometer and use it as an ammeter. So for doing this, we connect a shunt resistance parallel to the galvanometer. Ammeter, it is the resistance of ammeter is very low. This is because otherwise it would take the current from the circuit, okay, or draw the potential from the source. So in that case it will not give the correct value if the resistance of ammeter is high. So the resistance of ammeter is quite low, and if we are talking about an ideal ammeter, then its resistance is 0, whereas in case of voltmeter the resistance is quite high, and for an ideal voltmeter the resistance is infinite. Okay, so the very first thing is we are taking the galvanometer to be converted into the ammeter. So for doing this, because the resistance of galvanometer is very small, but very large in comparison to the ammeter, so we keep the arrangement in such a way so that the resistance of the net resistance of this combination, it will be even lesser, right? So for this we connect a resistance, we indicate it here by S, parallel to the galvanometer, right? Suppose that this value of this S, which is connected in parallel to the galvanometer, while we are converting the galvanometer into ammeter, the value of this S will depend upon what range of the galvanometer we are going to convert into ammeter. Suppose that we are interested in an ammeter of range 0 to 5 ampere. So I is the maximum current, 5 ampere. So we want an ammeter of this much of range of the current to be measured by it. So for this we connect the a resistance parallel to the galvanometer according to that. So what is that formula to know about what resistance we require if we are interested in converting the galvanometer into an ammeter of desired range? For example, as I am taking 0 to 5 ampere just in case, right? Okay, so by connecting this resistance in parallel, the overall resistance of the circuit will decrease, right? Now it will have the resistance even lesser than S or G. So therefore the resistance of the circuit will be even less. So now this galvanometer is ready to be used as an ammeter. Okay, so how this will work? Suppose that the galvanometer is able to hold the maximum current Ig. So that is the maximum value of current that can pass through the galvanometer. For higher values, it will just damage the galvanometer, right? So Ig is the current that can pass through the galvanometer. We are not interested in Ig, actually we are interested in converting the galvanometer into a meter of maximum value I, means range 0 to I. So suppose that now this total current I of maximum 5 ampere, for example, it is allowed to pass through this setup now. Out of this I, we are taking S to be such a way that it will allow, this combination will allow only Ig amount of the current through the galvanometer, which is the maximum value of the current through the galvanometer, right? So for this maximum value, it will give its maximum deflection. The remaining value of current, which is I minus Ig, out of this I, Ig current is flowing through the galvanometer. The remaining current I minus Ig, it flows through the shunt. So this is what we have done by using the shunt. So that's why we require the shunt resistance. The excess amount of current just bypasses through this resistance connected parallel. So a resistance connected in parallel to some device, it is called as a shunt resistance. The name given to this resistance is shunt resistance. So it is shunting this excess amount of current and bypassing through the galvanometer. On the other end, the net current remains I. So for this maximum value of current I, the galvanometer takes the maximum current equal to Ig. Remaining current just passes through the shunt resistance, and for this maximum current, galvanometer gives the full scale deflection to which indicates the maximum value of current, which is equal to I. Okay, so what theory does this hold? Further, we can write the expression for this shunt resistance here according to the description we are taking here. In this diagram, whatever the potential across G will be, the potential across S will be same, because G and S, the galvanometer, G is the resistance of the galvanometer, and the formula for the resistance of the galvanometer we already know it in our earlier discussions. So because G and S are connected across the same two terminals, so that means the potential across G and the potential difference across S will be same. So this is what we are understanding from here, and we are writing that the potential difference across S and the potential difference across G both will be same, right? So S has some value, G, the resistance of the galvanometer, has some value, of course some high value. So according to the definition of Ohm's law, what is the potential difference across any resistance? S, in this case, it will be equal to the product of the current passing through the resistance multiplied by the resistance. V is equal to I into R. We are using the same principle here. So the current through the shunt resistance, it is nothing but I minus Ig times the value of resistance S is equal to potential difference across G. It is nothing but the current through G, which is Ig, multiplied by the resistance of this, which is G. We are writing it as G. From here we can take the value of S. So the value of S, this term inside the bracket, it goes to the right side and it divides on the terms on the right side. So this is the formula for the resistance which we need to connect to the galvanometer parallel to itself. Now, if Ig, the maximum value of current that can pass through the galvanometer, it is something which is constant for a particular galvanometer. It is the value of I on which it is the value of current I on which the value of shunt resistance will depend. So if we are willing to calculate, convert the galvanometer into an ammeter of 0 to 3 ampere range scale, then the shunt resistance will be having one value. So how this value will get affected? If we want an ammeter from the galvanometer, an ammeter of larger range, that means the value of I will be higher for that. The value of I will be higher. So that means this overall calculation will be less in number. So that means for a larger scale or a wider scale of ammeter, we require a smaller value of shunt resistance. And if we want an ammeter of short current range, 0 to 1 ampere or 0 to 2 ampere, the value of shunt resistance will be higher. This is clear from this expression. And what will be the effective resistance of this combination? Whenever we are connecting some shunt resistance parallel to it, the galvanometer, now these two resistances G and S are nothing but parallel. We can simply use the expression for the parallel combination of resistances in order to find out the effective resistance or net resistance of this combination. So which will be given by this 1 upon RA. This RA, it is nothing but the net value of resistance. This is the formula. So 1 upon G plus 1 upon S. This is the formula for the parallel combination of resistances. So from here, RA, it is nothing but GS upon G plus S. So this is the formula for the net resistance of this combination. Of course, this net resistance will be less than both G and S, and hence the galvanometer has a lesser value of resistance. It can be used as an ammeter. What other uses of shunt resistance are there? We can use any resistance parallel to some given device or a system. It will act as a shunt. A shunt resistance in the circuit, it is used to convert a galvanometer into an ammeter, as we discussed. And because on using the shunt, the value of the overall value of resistance or net value of resistance of the circuit decreases, or we can say combination decreases. Hence, it increases the current in the circuit. It can also be used to increase the range of galvanometer. So that is the use of shunt resistance. Now we can move to the next topic of converting a galvanometer into a voltmeter. So as we have discussed already, the voltmeter is a device having high value of resistance, and for ideal voltmeter the value of resistance is quite high, means almost infinity for an ideal voltmeter, which we don't have, but ideally it is infinity. Okay, so if we are going to use the galvanometer as a voltmeter, we require its resistance to be higher. So because for the given value of potential difference, there will be some certain value of current that will pass through the voltmeter, or we can say galvanometer combined with the resistance R. So we require the resistance of this arm, or we can say the voltmeter, to be high. So for this we connect a resistance, we can write it by R, in series with the galvanometer. So we already know that in series, whenever the resistances are connected, the net resistance even increases higher. So now this combination will allow some maximum value of current through the galvanometer only, right? Or not, just it is not now a galvanometer, but it becomes a voltmeter. So what value of V we require? It will depend upon what range of voltmeter we are interested in. Suppose that the maximum value of potential difference which the voltmeter can measure, it is 0 to V volt. For example, 0 to 5 volt, you can take that way. So the maximum value of whenever the maximum value of potential will it will measure, or we can say potential difference will be acting over the arm over which this combination of galvanometer and voltmeter will be used. So the maximum value of potential at that point of time, It is V. So for this value of potential, there will be some maximum value of current which can pass through the galvanometer. We choose the value of R such that only maximum value of current through the galvanometer which a galvanometer can bear, or we can say tolerate, that will pass through this galvanometer, or in general we can say voltmeter. So what formula that will be? So for this total potential, because this potential is acting across the two ends of this voltmeter, in which there is one galvanometer and a resistance connected in series. That means this total potential, it will be divided both in terms of potential across G and potential across R. So we can write that the potential difference V, it is nothing but potential difference across G and potential difference across R plus. So V is equal to potential difference across G, which is Ig, the current flowing through it, multiplied by the resistance G, plus Ig into R, the current through, because current is same through both of these arms. So it is Ig into R. So this is the very basic expression we already know. So from here we can find out the value of R. So Ig goes to the other side, so it divides V, and also further we can take G, and we get this expression for the resistance R to be connected in series with the galvanometer if we are willing to convert the galvanometer into voltmeter. So this is the expression. So the value of R will depend upon what value of voltmeter we are willing to have from this galvanometer. If we want the galvanometer to be a voltmeter, to act as the voltmeter of a wider range, then that means the value of V will be higher, and hence value of R should be higher. So that is the meaning. As an example, if we are converting the galvanometer into a voltmeter of range 0 to 5 volt, the value of V will be there, and there will be some value of resistance according to that. And if we are interested in a voltmeter of 0 to 2 volt just, that means V is less. So that means R will be less. We require a lesser value of this series resistance. So this is how we convert a galvanometer and a voltmeter, a galvanometer into an ammeter and a voltmeter. And what will be the net resistance of this combination? Of course, the two resistors are connected in series, so their net resistance will be given by the sum of these two, G plus R. So in this case, whenever we convert the galvanometer into voltmeter, the net resistance is nothing but G plus R, where the value of R depends upon V. So that is all for now and about this chapter. Thank you.